Welcome back. The Career Discovery Project is a unique internship program allowing visually impaired students to gain career experience. The director of this program has just written a book called See Us, following the work journeys of 6 blind and visually impaired young adults. Let's check out this trailer.
70% of visually impaired young adults are unemployed. The 6 refuse to be another statistic.
I am Alani. See me.
I am Carla. See me.
I am Alex. See me.
I am Jaden. See me.
I am Caitlin. See me.
See us.
Joining us now to discuss is Jonathan Marin, author of See Us and program director of the Career Discovery Project. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. First to start, for people who are not familiar, can you tell us about yourself and the Career Discovery Project and your mission with the CDP?
Sure. So I've been working with the blind and visually impaired for over 10 years. I took over the Career Discovery Project, or CDP, in 2014. And it's a year-round grant-funded program that connects blind and visually impaired high school and college students with internship opportunities throughout New York City and Westchester County.
That's wonderful. Thank you for the background. And how have things changed at the program due to COVID-19?
So under normal circumstances, most of my students will work on site. Some of them would work remotely, like from home or from school, if they're dorming. But during the shutdown, which happened, between like February and June, when the whole city had a shutdown, that screwed up my entire spring semester. But on the bright side, it gave me enough time to prep for the summer semester, where I was able to develop entirely remote work experiences.
Right. And Jonathan, as we know, New York City cut 40,000 youth jobs due to the pandemic. How has lack of employment affected the blind and visually impaired students that you work with in particular?
So as you know, during the school year, I'm the only program that's providing work experiences. But during the summer, it's my agency and about 3 more that provide work experiences for blind and visually impaired high school and college students. But this summer, for their own particular reasons, those agencies weren't able to develop any programming. That left my programming as the only one running. And the reason we're the only one running, again, was because of our experience. Because of our experience creating remote work opportunities. So unfortunately, this summer, a lot of students were left out.
Right. What are some of those remote work opportunities that the students get from your program?
So they could work at a variety of places, whether it's a tech institution or a cultural institution. I had 2 students working with the Museum of the Moving Image, conducting Zoom workshops, creating alt text and social media posts, things like that. I had a student at a small theater company called Blacklight Theater. She was also working on their social media. I have another student at a place called Sports Kitchen that's developing a new program called Fair Play for Kids. And they needed someone to consult them on how to make the program inclusive for students that are blind and visually impaired. And that student was also helping them create content for their website. And they were able to do all this work from home through their computer. They already have the technology. They know how to use it. We know how teenagers are. Some of them are already getting more advanced than we are. They're jumping ahead. So they had the technology to do it. I just had to coach them when it came to making sure they sign in on time and they provide their work on time to submit everything when it needs to be submitted. So it was actually a very successful summer, and first for the program, where we had a total of 9 students all working remotely.
Wow, that's amazing. And it gives them something to do, because a lot of the students were out of school for so long and just longed for that connection and the career connection as well. So thank you for doing that for these students. I just wanted to speak about some of the stigmas associated with the blind and visually impaired. How do you help students overcome these obstacles that they face?
So the problem is you have too many people out there who think these students are incapable of doing things on their own. They always need help. My program gives them the opportunity to utilize their talents and skills. And as a direct result, it shreds those stigmas and negative stereotypes.
Right. No, that's amazing to hear, Jonathan. And now about your book, you highlight how those stigmas and obstacles are nothing to these students because at the end of the day, they're just like anybody else, right? So can you tell
Exactly.
us about your book and what inspired you to write it? It's
So
called for our viewers.
that's right. So it's called See Us. It's a photographic journey of 6 visually impaired students from New York City that are balancing their lives between work, home, and school. And I was inspired to do this book, probably years worth of inspiration because I have I'm a witness to their life experiences. I'm watching a lot of these students, grow right before my eyes, and I'm watching them mature and struggle and achieve. And I wanted to share that with the public. I wanted them to see what these students are capable of, and what they're going through and how they're handling it. And the particular group that I document in the book, and the group is known as the Six. They want people to see them as well. They want people to see what's going on. And that's how I got the idea for the title See Us.
That's beautiful. And what do you hope that people take away from the book most?
I hope that they see that these young adults are more capable than they think they are. And they're no different really than anybody else. They go through the same stress and pressures as your typical teenager, maybe even more so because some of them are blind or visually impaired. But they're not letting that define who they are. They're trying to find their place in this world. They're breaking down all sorts of barriers, and they're not letting anyone or anything get in their way.
Oh, an inspiration for us all. Jonathan, you're also a mentor in this program, right? So a lot of the students rely on you and give you, speak to you, you give them advice and all that. What have you been hearing through COVID-19 with working with some of these students?
Oh, I've been telling them really I let them know first that, and I actually done it a couple of times. This is probably the weirdest and most difficult time they have experienced so far in their young lives, and they have to keep their head up. They have to stay positive. I told them to focus on school, focus on work, and only worry about what you can control. Tune out all the outside noise. Whatever is not going to have a negative impact on you, don't even think about it. Just focus on yourself. This will be over soon, and thankfully we're getting to some sort of normalcy.
And Jonathan, contrary to popular belief, blind and visually impaired can use their cell phones, and they can see sometimes, right? There are specific programs and things that they can use on their phone in order to access it, and as well as voice assistants and all this. So they're very capable of using their cell phone in order to work just like us. Can you tell us more about that as well?
Sure. So yeah. So my students that work from home, they either use their laptops or computers, and they'll have accessible programs like Draws, which is a speaking program. That's mainly used by students that are that don't have any vision, that are totally blind. Students that are visually impaired have different levels of vision. So just because a student's visually impaired doesn't necessarily mean that that student needs any accessible programs on their computer. They just might do, a little tweak, like increasing the font size or zooming in on the screen, little things like that. Other students might need, other assistance. So they'll download the proper apps. I know iPhones are very accessible. They love iPhones because of the good accessible technology that has that makes their life easier and allows them to work from anywhere pretty much. And it's funny though. I had to tell them, guys, when you start this job, please don't do any work through your phone. Use your laptops. Maybe you can use your tablet or computer, but don't do it through the phone. It can make things a little bit tricky. And I explained to them, they're going to expect you to use certain word programs, things like that. You're not going to have on your phone. So, but some of them were able to, depending on what the job responsibility was, some of them were able to do certain things from their phone, and it it worked out fine. They taught me a couple of things, so I'm very proud of them, and I'm very proud how everything turned out this summer.
It's a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for sharing, Jonathan. Before we go, how can people find out more about the Career Discovery Project and find your book, See Us, and stay in touch with you?
So you can go to cityaccessny.org for more information on the Career Discovery Project and some of the other programs we have under our agency. You can follow me on Twitter at author_Marin, Marin, and on Instagram at the author John Marin.
And is the book out yet, Jonathan?
The book should be out. We're hoping sometime later on this fall. It'll be available through my website, which is currently under construction. We're doing rapid work on that, and Amazon, iBooks, and we're going to find a whole bunch of other platforms to make sure the book is available to as many people as possible.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you so much for your work through the Career Discovery Program and as well the project, and as well as writing this book, See Us, for us all to see and experience the work of visually and blind youth and the capabilities that they have even through a pandemic. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Folks, again, you can visit cityaccessny.org/career-discovery-project and stay tuned for Jonathan's book, See Us, on his social media. That's all for our show today. Thank you for tuning in to BXRx. I'm your host, Sonyi Lopez, wishing you and your family safety and wellness now and always.